4 years ago this week, I was very sick, and then I found carnivore diet. And I did very strict carnivore diet for 16 months where I ate beef, salt, water, occasional oysters, and slowly added some ingredients back in. Now it's 4 years later, and I'm still symptom-free from several chronic conditions. I'm off all meds and supplements, except for creatine, and otherwise I just get all my nutrients from my diet. And it completely changed my life. I feel as strongly about this as I do about jiu-jitsu, as I do about decentralized problem solving in high trust groups. Our food and medicine are harming us in ways we don't fully understand. And I don't understand how something like this can be politically divisive, but for some reason it is, just to talk about health and wellness. But when I see with my own eyes hundreds of people that have cured their chronic diseases and mental health by switching off the Wall Street owned products, I can't deny it. I can't just deny what I see with my eyes. So, especially considering that I felt it from a perspective of someone who is suffering. So I was the one on the suffering end of clinical anxiety, of autoimmune and neurological problems. And I was suffering to the point where I couldn't train jiu-jitsu and couldn't drive my car very well. And I was very nervous about my future. And I don't want to dive too deep into this, but if you're suffering, there's maybe another way you can try. One that I've seen with my own eyes work well over 90% of the time I've seen it work for autoimmune disease, for anxiety, for depression, for all kinds of stuff. I'm not a doctor, but I was suffering and I'm not suffering anymore. And there's value in that. Yeah, it's an anecdotal experience for me, but I've seen it happen to other people all around me that go in with the mindset of like, I'm going to try this and see if it works. And then it works. And that's science. That's real science. Real science is not about just a peer-reviewed paper. It's about being able to replicate an experiment. And if you can go into something and say, hey, my experiment is I'm going to try to make myself feel better by eating differently, and then it works, and you get off your meds, or you have MS and now your brain's remyelinated, which means all the lesions are fixed on your brain. If you have ulcerative colitis and you don't have it anymore, if you're on clinical depression medication since you're 10 years old and now you're off all of them and you feel fine in the wintertime when you're supposed to have seasonal depression, if all of these things happen, it shouldn't just be ignored. And if it's happening at such a high rate, this is just something that maybe you can consider. Consider that if you're not feeling your best, really take a look at what you're eating and ask yourself 2 questions. Is there a chance there's toxins in here that are hurting me? And am I getting enough nutrients from whatever it is that I'm eating? If you have a chronic ailment, the chances are that I know someone that has repaired it or tried to repair it with diet. And can you repair all of them? No. Type 1 diabetes, you definitely can't. Type 2, I've seen 100% success rate, reversing in a short amount of time. What you eat matters, and I can't stress it enough because I've lived it and experienced it. And I didn't know I could feel this good at, my mid-40s. I'm 47 years old. I didn't know I could feel this good still. I still train jiu-jitsu almost every day and with people that are really good. And I feel better than I did 10 years ago. And I attribute it to the strong change in my inputs in my life, which means my food, my water, my medicine, and the chemicals I allow around me in my life. I put on my body and in my cleaning supplies, my deodorants, my shampoos, my soaps, things like this. I think they all matter. They're all inputs and they're all important to feeling good. But the most important one is food. Food you put in your body every day, and it matters. If you're suffering from autoimmune, clinical anxiety, panic attacks, any of these things, maybe, just maybe your body has inflammation and it's not working the right way and it's haywiring and you're getting autoimmune and you're counterattacking yourself. These aren't my philosophies. I'm in groups online with hundreds of thousands of people in them. And there's doctors in there, lots of doctors. And these are their theories of why this works. Why does strict diet work to fix a lot of the things that we call diseases? This is the only explanation that's made sense to me. But what I do know is that it works. Not on everyone maybe, but on way more people than I ever imagined, including myself. So if you're trying to solve something like this and you need help, please just message the podcast or reach out.